So here's an example of a company I personally patronize. It's called Life Boost Coffee, and they make really cool coffee charged with all kinds of good molecules. Basically, really good coffee that you can drink before you go to sleep, so you sleep better. And the persona, if you will, for the brand is Dr. Charles Livingston. He's a real person. Actually, he hit me up on Facebook the other day. And here's an example of how you use this methodology, the infotainment methodology, to sell something that's not an information product. Hey, Life Booster, Dr. Charles here with something very unique. As you might guess, mainstream or big brand laundry products are loaded with toxins. So notice that it's a coffee thing, right? It's a coffee mailing list. However, he talks about laundry detergents, meaning that he understands his market and he feels that if I'm willing to buy coffee that's full of great toxins, that's good for me, then I am probably toxin conscious and I want to eliminate toxins from everything in my life. Maybe you didn't know that. In fact, there are over 16,000 research studies on sodium lauryl sulfate, just one of the many toxic ingredients common in laundry detergent. Showing it can cause irritation of the skin and eyes, organ toxicity, reproductive issues, neurotoxicity, hormone disruption, cellular damage, and even cancer. Now that's right there is nightmare, right? He's painting a picture to scare the crap out of me. Luckily, oh, I lost you, man. So anyway, you've seen this. If we can figure out marketing, you can, okay? Here's why this is so important for you and your family, right? So here's the reason why you need this. Every minute of your life outside of showering, your skin is in constant contact with your clothing, bedding, towels, and beyond. 90% plus of store-bought laundry products are loaded with not one but dozens of toxic chemicals. These chemicals are now in full contact with your skin, the largest organ of your body, all the time. So now this is actually giving value, but this is the type of giving value that actually advances the sale. He's not necessarily teaching me how to, but he's sharing something that I didn't know that makes me go, oh wow. Now that I know that, it makes sense to really think carefully about the laundry products I use. So given all this, why isn't everyone ditching the chemicals and using non-toxic products? Simple. Most natural or eco-friendly products simply do not work, certainly not as well as the big brands. So now he's exposing a problem with a competitor product. Now he doesn't mention anyone specifically. So yesterday I did a lot of very specific, anti-Grant Cardone, anti-Gary Vee, but you don't have to mention any one specific brand. You can just box them all into one category, right? And show them these are the bad guys, we are the good guys. Luckily, a company called My Green Fills is changing that story, making the first non-toxic line of laundry products that clean better than the major retail brands. You can learn more about their revolutionary mission and get your first 50 loads for free. So we'll stop here, and what this shows you is that even if you have a coffee list, then you can promote a laundry product as an affiliate. Okay, and of course there's the irresistible proposition, which is get the first 50 loads for free. Always, always, always have a sexy offer. We'll be talking more about that today. So that's an example of how you both share value and how you promote non-info product and non-coaching or consulting product using the exact same methodology. So some housekeeping before we get started today. We got your feedback from yesterday, so I packed today's talk with more examples and more case studies, so we'll go through them together. There will be one more email writing exercise. There'll be one more email writing exercise, and it will be intense, just like yesterday, but you will do better this time around because there's going to be your second exercise in these couple of days. And before we get started, I wanted to pass the mic and have you guys share some of the insights that kind of sunk in overnight. Don't worry, Dennis, we got Anastasia running the mic today. She's just prettier to look at than you, that's all. That's why I had her. So don't be shy, show of hands. Just an insight you picked up yesterday. Yes, please, Venue. And we have another mic. Anyone wants to go next?
Earlier, before lunch yesterday, you had a little exercise you asked us to do of belief systems. That was very profound. And at a surface, it didn't feel like it was great. Why would I want to do it? But I think after I put the mind map together, workflowy kind of a thing, and dig deeper and ask a lot more questions, it helped understand what belief system am I recruiting people into, and that's a tribe I'm building. So that sort of like helps with a lot of leadership activity there.
Yes, and it really showed in your emails too. The emails you were writing were really on point with the target market you were going for. So
the qualification, everything gets in there.
Hire more superstars, do it faster, do it cheaper, get lots of them fast. Which is a problem for every corporate entity.
Did you give us a resource for that, like a book or anything from a belief system where?
The only person or mentor who talks a lot about that is Dan Kennedy. So I recommend you checking out Dan Kennedy's books specifically on this topic. I recommend Trustworthy Marketing in an increasingly untrustworthy world. By Dan Kennedy. Totally worth it. Very good stuff, and pretty much anything by Dan Kennedy, you're in good hands.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I think for me, the most helpful thing was actually watching you write the emails, because like trying to understand what your thought process was. So for me, it left me wanting to know more about what you're thinking, because there's like different scenarios where we write emails. Like one can be for an actual, as Charlie did in that example, it was like a promo, but another one would be for your own product where it's something that you already know, versus the promo, it's kind of like, so how does that process go? Like you look at his landing page and all that, and you kind of gather that. So I think would be like super fascinating. Well, for me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people, would be for you to go through one email, like how you kind of did on a few of the others, but very briefly, like what you're thinking as you're like writing.
Sure, we're going to be checking out an affiliate campaign I've done for John Crestani today, so we're going to do 7 emails from that. We're going to do a book launch, and we're going to be doing just random castaway emails as well. So I'll be sharing more of what I do, plus during the writing exercise, hey David, thank you for joining. During the writing exercise, obviously I'll be writing more emails with you guys, because yesterday we were actually moving really fast. It took us about 17 minutes per email, which is really, really good. It's really advanced time. And we're going to be chatting more about the thought process and what to look for, so it's going to become more evident.
Right, but I thought that was like super fascinating to like actually, like that's the nerd in me, like know what you're like thinking. And even Dennis came by, he's like, aren't you going to write anything? And I was like, no, I want to watch him actually do that. I'll write it like later. And so like that's what was able to help me like craft out an email after I kind of saw you and kind of gathered.
Okay, so would you guys like to see me write more than one email today? Maybe just sit there and watch me write? Okay, cool, we'll do that. All right, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, but I could, like
so
I said,
you just came here to watch me work. Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
Like I actually would gladly pay you money to sit there and watch you. I know your wife probably thinks that's kind of weird, but
no, that makes perfect sense.
Now that's a good bragging thing. You can say, look, honey, all these people were wanting me to sit there and watch me.
So all these people are just like you. They just want to watch me work, huh?
Yeah, like I do every day.
All right, thank you for sharing, Liz. Anyone else? Let's do one more before we move on to a very, very exciting little tidbit.
So I share in her wanting to watch you and just your thinking process, right? I know there was a couple people in the room that said it yesterday, like just even writing the subject line last, right? Something so simple, like now I think when I look back, it's like, that makes total sense. But yet every email, like 99% of the time, I would have, boxed myself in writing that subject line first, just because it's just in that order, right?
Yeah.
So just like many things, like nuances of like how you just say, hey, this is the product, this is the link, makes it very, very clear of like, hey, every email has one story, transition to the pitch, right? And then just thinking about the possibilities of the campaigns, of how they all connect together, right? From different products to,
Yeah, that's today. Today's campaign day. You're going to walk away knowing exactly how to build one that starts on a certain date, ends on a certain date, as well as promised, for those of you who have evergreen offers for agencies like David. For example, David's offer is an evergreen because he can email it every day without changing anything about it. So I'm going to share with you how to do castaway emails. So that they're not interconnected. They sell the same thing every day, but they work.